Yo,
Save the date. What's going on,
what up
guys?
though?
We want you to save the date. Put a pen in it. Maybe that should be the name of the podcast. Put a pen in it. I'm one
Take
of
a
your
beat.
hosts. Yeah, exactly. Take a beat. What's going on, guys? Save the date now. We'll save the date. One of your hosts, Heath.
I'm your other host, Shaw. Jamie, yo, what's goody?
Yeah, and we're just here before we get started. Always just quick business at Save the Date Now, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and experimenting with going on to X and Facebook. But again, when that time comes, we'll make that announcement. Today's episode is all about connection to culmination. Connection to culmination. We don't have a subtitle because it's not required and we really didn't think through one. So either one, pick one. It's not required or we didn't think through it. But today's episode is really all about the importance of establishing emotional connection as a lead up to physical intimacy. And this episode was really inspired by conversations Jay and I have been having that we have with ourselves, but also with some of our women friends, where we really talk about their impression, their perception of men and their drive for physical intimacy. And what comes out of these conversations, one in particular, is just how important they as women have either experienced or observed men who invest in building a connection with women end up with some of the physical benefits that many men in general and on average are seeking from women. We're just talking about sex, right? Sleeping with women. And what's often overlooked, I believe, in a lot of the conversations among men is the importance of how to establish a healthy connection. Why laying in the cut, playing it cool, and really building a bond with a woman so that she feels safe, heard, and valued is ultimately the flex that gets you to the very thing you want, which for some men is they want that physical intimacy. Now, as we go into this episode, I'm going to give some of my personal views on that because as I've told Jay and I've said on this podcast, I have in my own growth been dealing with these concepts from my religious background or some of my religious traditions around premarital sex and what is the best container or pathway for a healthy sexual expression, a healthy sex life. But before I get even into all that, let's just really double down on connection before we get to culmination.
Wait,
Yeah.
because I feel like that needs to be more of a dialogue. I that's not necessarily something I agree with.
Yeah, of
I mean,
course.
I know that there's a place for it, but I think sometimes the reason why you have so many men that fight that is because they've scored without it. I think the connection makes the payoff better. But I mean, a lot of us have seen we don't necessarily need to invest in emotional connection to get that.
Great. Yeah, and I'm glad you pulled the car over that. So let's just get right into it. What you just said was powerful. I can score without it, but you also said it makes the culmination better. It makes the culmination better. And for you as the person who's pursuing, maybe the hunter in this classic mating scenario, the man is the hunter seeking the woman. You may not be invested in making the culmination period or the culmination moment better for her because you're just trying to hunt and quote unquote kill. So if I beat for 2 minutes or I beat for 50 minutes,
It really don't.
it really don't matter. If I took a Viagra and I went hard or I took Hennessy and got drunk dick, it really don't matter to me.
Right.
Because guess who got off?
I did.
I got off.
Whether she liked it or not, let's even add that into it.
Yeah.
They
Did she have a
they
great
just don't
time or
even
not?
care. Yeah.
No. And I think what's powerful about that is you once said something to me, and you said over the summer. You said some people, they get into a scenario where they think a situation's good if they're good. If I'm good, then the situation's good. Never considering what other people are experiencing, never consider what the other parties involved may actually be trying to accomplish with them or despite them. And many of us get into these scenarios where, especially when it comes to physical intimacy, we think because I climbed on top of somebody or somebody climbed on top of me or we were sweating for 5 minutes, then hey, that was a championship game. And I scored the home run.
That was game
I
7.
sunk the basketball. Y'all were down by 2 points. I came in for the dunk that sealed the deal. And now we got the hats on. We holding the joint. And the NBA commissioner's coming and giving us, yeah. And ultimately, that's not true. From our conversations with women, that's not true. But you're right. You have to value the experience with the other person in order for you to really, truly care about what happens in that culmination moment for that. And you're right. Maybe you just don't have a mentality of it. Because I think some men are interested in racking up numbers. The number is what's impressive.
Yeah.
I did X with X amount of people. I got all these women to X, right? I got these women to do this, bend over, bend up, bend over, get on their knees, You man, Tupac said, get on your knees and pray. Get on your knees and pray. So, but for us, and what me and you've talked about is what is the better? Because in our previous podcast iteration, Love God, Love Sex, we talked about the magic, the ecstasy of true service in the bedroom, and how when you are participating in a woman's orgasmic journey, you are unlocking doors of joy and hope,
Healing.
and I would say majestic reimagination. Why do I use that term, majestic reimagination? Because your connection in joy and your connection in that sacred act, in that ritual, can really rewrite people's lives. It can help rewire their brain. It could help reorient their body to hope, to change, to a bigger and better and brighter future. That's how powerful connection is with physical intimacy. That's how powerful being invested in someone feeling valued, heard, and connected can be. And honestly, if even you're thinking about legacy, as some men would say or think, and some men don't care about this, but some men do, if you want to be in the pantheon of the greats, when that woman's recounting, whether to herself or to others, who were some of the best lovers that she ever allowed to grace the platform of her heart, if you want to be there, that's the path to be there. It's not a guarantee, but it's a stronger path than let me climb on top and do what I'm going to do, and you shut up and like it.
I mean, unless you got the toolery to get that kind of outcome with just that. Because, I mean, listen, bro, I think this is really kind of what I'm saying is like, I think that's the reason why some dudes kind of forego the nobility of it all. It's like, I mean, listen, I done turned some chicks out that I know didn't really give a damn about me. You know what I'm saying? I done had some screaming and squirting all over the place, and I know they didn't necessarily care about me, but I mean, I think they would say that I'm on the pantheon. In the pantheon, I think they would say I'm on the Mount Rushmore.
So let's pull again. Let's continue the car. Keep the car, car idling on the side of the road here. Are you saying that connection then is a two-way street, or are we saying, you saying, I'm saying, we saying, are we saying that the connection really has to be partner focused? And since we're heterosexual men, we're talking about man to woman, that if the man is focusing on the woman, that's what you can kind of hang your hat on. That's what you can bring to the bank. And ultimately, that's what matters. Or are we saying the connection needs to be two-sided?
Well, I think I'm saying in the same way we're saying that you can reach a destination or you can reach a destination in a good way. It's the same way with the two-way connection. If the connection is one-sided, you can still have a good connection. So, like the side who's receiving from it, it's still a positive experience. But when both people have it, when it's reciprocal, when it's circular, both people get to be happy and experience, get joy from it. Yeah, when the connection is mutual and both parties are benefiting from it, I think, and that's reflected in the physical intimacy. Yeah, I think is it great to just be a great lover to someone? Yeah. But imagine if they were a good lover to you too.
Yeah, one hand washes the other and both hands wash their faces, we often have said
So
our time of podcasting.
Yeah, so I think, sometimes that's a layer of the conversation. It's not just, are we going to be physically intimate? It's, are we going to be physically intimate in a way that honors how we've been curating and creating this emotional connection with each other? Are we both invested in each other's pleasure? Are we both thinking about service to one another? Do you want to be a good lover to me? Do I want to be a good one to you? If you just want to take advantage of the emotional connection that we have and it culminate, since we're using that word, it culminate in a physical intimacy where you just become the best lover I've ever had, and we agree on that, that's cool. But like I said, I think it's a better destination if both people are striving to be on each other's Mount Rushmore, if both people are trying to create this grand experience for the other one, this service-based experience for the other person, if they even care about that. But that's what I was saying beforehand.
Because I got it fixed.
Because it's a survival thing. And I was going to kind of interject when you were talking about the reasons why guys want numbers. I think that's only relative to social conversations. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if every guy is thinking about the social conversation of how many numbers they have.
No.
A
and
lot
as
of
you
them
age,
are just,
even in the 20s may not even matter as much as your teens.
Well, I was agreeing with you on the number part, but not necessarily so that other people know what the numbers are. It's just kind of like, if we're going to use the analogy of hunting, right? And there's a predator who has a food chain, and on the food chain, he can get, let's say, 10 smaller prey a day, or like 2 bigger prey a week. He may just rely on the smaller prey a day because it's just like, I'm going to eat more on a more regular basis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
and they're more at my fingertips. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? It's more readily
Yeah.
available than the two big ones. I gotta like sit and stalk and wait for them
Yeah,
to come
yeah, of
by and
course.
this, that.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like
I ain't trying to go back for no hippo for 5 hours
I
to
think,
eat.
yeah, I think for some guys it's just a mechanical. I just need to be eating on a regular basis.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
they'll rack up numbers, not necessarily to be able to brag about it, but just in their mind, it's
Release.
like just a release.
Yeah, just a release.
And this is where I think you and I are talking about where there can be more of a change in thinking. Like, why not try to optimize the best experiences you can have by creating emotional connections with people? And we're saying we think that that would lead to people just racking up numbers for numbers' sake and enjoying more of a quality experience. I think that's what we're saying.
Yeah, and I think also from again, this perspective is coming from, as I prefaced in the beginning of this episode, from women that we're engaging with, women that they've talked about their personal experiences or experiences they observed or have shared with their homegirls. So this is coming from a particular center, from a particular core. It's not this comprehensive, okay, we surveyed men, we surveyed women, here's what we think, here are the details, here's our data, and here's our interpretation. We're really doing it from a one-sided perspective because we've talked about this in our previous podcast iteration, but also because we're dealing just with women and the woman's perspective, recognizing that from our anecdotal experience and our stories that we've collected, a lot of times it just seems like women are telling us, yeah, I mean, we had sex, but it was whack. And it was whack not because of the size or because of this. They really talk about, when I've heard women, my women friends talk about great sex, they never talk about size. They never talk about technique, even though I'm sure those are factored in. But that's not
Supplements.
what that's
Hmm.
not what they're emphasizing.
Yeah.
They emphasize energy and a man matching the energy level that she's bringing to the table. And they also consider service. And Hallie Wong has this great bit about that. Are you going down on me with exuberance, excitement, and service? Or are you going down like, oh, I guess somebody get my dick sucked and I gotta wah 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 wah. You're like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah 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 wah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. That's a very familiar energy.
And no one wants anything like that.
Yeah.
Whether you're vacationing in Cabo, you're picking up your dry cleaning, you're placing an order to a restaurant for pickup or to go and be served, you want someone to show you that you're accepted and welcome. And not in a deep, resonant mental health, where in the couch you're talking to your therapist way. You just want to know there is a superficial line of communication that we understand works in these interactions, in these transactions. And if you just maximize it in that transaction, for me, I'm going to feel welcomed and accepted.
Yeah. You want genuine service.
Yeah.
You don't want to feel like somebody's doing you a favor.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can have a seat at the restaurant. Like, I'm about to give you
Yeah.
money.
I mean,
No,
I
whatever.
guess I can go down on you. I guess I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
wants to feel like that.
And that's because we're recognizing that, and maybe you're right how you started this. Some men don't care about being great lovers. I think some men do care about being great lovers. They don't know how to get there. Evidenced by men who are trying to listen to pickup artists. That's fine. Men who are listening to other tapes and other literature, watching literature, right? You see men talking about porn as a gateway to learning to have sex. So they think it's going to be like that because they want the same ecstatic experience they see that woman displaying in that moment of theater. They want it to be displayed
With them.
with them. So I think they care. It's just that what really goes into getting to that experience is not the lower extremities. It's the mind. How you make a woman connect. You said it best to me. Sometimes men who are married or in a committed relationship may think, oh, I lay it down on my wife. I remember that, what's that movie, The Best Friend's Wedding, or the joint with Morris Chestnut said, I know because the
Oh,
pussy curves
yeah.
to my dick.
The best man. Yeah.
You're the best man. It curves to my dick. Now, that's a typical line that people will have. But with Harper, he had her beat because he had connected with her emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And most men don't think about the emotional resonant piece. They just focus on the
The
piece.
physical piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But I
if I
mean,
plugged and played, then the TV should work because I plugged it in. Rightfully so if you're dealing with a TV, but a human body is not a TV.
yeah. And I think, because I was going to say, how do they get out of that thinking when their physical performance and prowess is what they're kind of judged on? You know what I mean? And that's sometimes even before they seal the deal or even get into bed with somebody. Like they've kind of throughout their life maybe have been thinking, well, like, yo, if I don't measure up, if I don't beat it up, if I don't bang it out or do, you know what I mean? Like they're getting programmed to think the way, to your point, how they reach this height is by physical performance, like a grand, great, mind blowing, life
More
altering
timpani,
physical
more
performance.
timpani. It's like
You
the
know what I mean?
doctors like,
How do we get guys to reroute that kind of thinking and show them like, yo, listen, I mean, obviously we could just say, listen, women are talking and they're saying this is how you get from point A to point B. You ask questions. Let's start with that. You take some curiosity and interest in what are the things that are going to make me have a great experience, not women in general. Because I remember you telling me about your man who was, I guess, kind of giving a tutorial on how to make several women and have an orgasm, and your man was like, "Well, I want to see if I can do it with 13." Bro, learn how to do it with just one.
yeah, it was David Data,
So,
author of Way of the Superior Man. You don't have enough love for one woman.
and if you don't, how are you trying to have, multiple women having orgasms? They're thinking they could do it just based off of like physical prowess. And that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying. How
yeah,
do
yeah.
we
And
get them
charm, and
out of
I'm
that
just
thinking?
brunt force. Well, yeah, because I think you get them out of that thinking by showing the benefits of genuine connection.
Mm,
You have to show wins. You have to show people successful at the art and craft of connection and how they have made a successful life out of the art and craft of connection. And there are men out there who have. Some are married, some are in long-term relationships. I believe we don't get enough of that exposure. We get enough exposure about the problematic marriage that led to divorce. I gave everything, she took me for everything. I can't see my children. There's a lot of, as I have always said, and I didn't coin this term, but I always tell you, we get enough outrage porn beamed at us every single day via our news feeds. And we don't see enough men and enough experiences with men and women of men who are serving, excelling, connecting, and culminating at a high level.
yeah. I was going to say, we also don't have a whole lot of examples of relationships, like real connection. We got a lot of examples of situationships and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
long-term vibing. We
Yeah,
got
yeah,
a lot
yes,
of
yeah, yeah,
examples
yeah.
of that.
No, you're absolutely right.
But connecting, I mean, very rarely. Honestly, bro, I can't even think of a celebrity couple that I look at and I'm like, yo, they actually really have a connection. I will say Angela Bassett and Courtney Vance.
Yeah.
I've been around them and I'm like, they really connect with each other. They talk. Whatchamacallit and her husband, what's the judge? Really pretty.
Judge Hatchett.
Judge Hatchett, like I felt the way she talks about
Yeah.
her and her husband, like I'm just like, there are people out here who do connect, like for real.
Yes.
And you can see it reflected in their relationship. But a lot of the examples we see is just people who vibe, like Cardi and Offset or Cardi and stuff. Like it just feels like these are situationships where people might just vibe and they just stay together for a long time.
Have a
But
kid together, and when it don't work, hey,
and when yeah, like
it's
it was
public.
never intended to go the long haul. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
intended to go as long as it went, and we were happy with that. So yeah, we don't see a lot of examples of that genuine connection you talking.
Yeah. We just hear a lot of what we know now is pornified. Think about right now, if certain celebrity women dropped a mixtape or porn tape or a sex tape, how many people would be rushing to see it? And no one's saying, okay, I'm rushing to hear the story about love or the story about the overcoming or the story about the connection.
I didn't give a damn about that.
I want to see them pictures that got hacked.
I want to see her get bust down.
Yeah. And then if the sex tape was just like pure, slow, passionate, intentional
Right.
lovemaking.
Oh, they're disappointed. Then people are disappointed.
Exactly.
Like what happened to all of the slob and the what's
exactly.
going on?
No, but that's real. That's real connection. That's real physical intimacy.
Yeah.
How many homes in America across the world, forget America, just across the world, are full of physical intimate experiences of that caliber, of that nature? Slow, intentional, passionate. I love you. No, you want to see do mac and cheese and someone hollering and falling out, breaking beds. Yeah, you want to see that celebrity woman get
beat down.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to see her get slutted out.
Because we have a pornified mind.
Yeah,
because
that's what's appealing.
The theater
these
of porn
days. Yeah.
has slowly but surely seduced us into a framework or performance of sex that may not be sustainable or real for the average person.
Which I think is, man, bro, this is so, because I'm thinking
I've
about
had
it
women
now.
I know say, let me just say this, guy. I want you to hold on to that thought. I have women say, yo, I've had some great, amazing sexual experiences. I don't necessarily make a whole lot of noise. How many men you know, if you watch that tape, and I'm not saying we should be advocating watching people's sex tapes, I'm just saying, if you were to hear, oh, there was no noise. Oh man, I ain't man, but that may be someone's genuine expression.
Yeah.
That may be someone's genuine connection and expression of who they are and what they're about when they feel connected and safe. But
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't look like
Janet Jackney,
WW the Hunter, it doesn't
take it
look
in
like
the butt.
yeah.
Yeah. No, for real. Because it doesn't. But I was going to say, this is kind of what I think I was saying about relationships is people, they try to create what they want and manufacture it. You know what I mean? Like they don't allow it to happen and allow it to come from an environment that they've curated where there's safety, where there's connection, all of this stuff that you're talking about. It's like, yo, you can actually get to the higher heights if you want to when we're talking about sex and physical intimacy. That can come from an environment where y'all have just been open and intimate and just creating an environment of safety. You don't have to manufacture the actions because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the actions. They're trying to do all of this and the, you know what I mean? The suplex, they're trying to do all of that to get to the grand feelings of connection when you could just create the connection and let the physical come from that.
Yeah.
They're manufacturing those feelings. And that's why I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yes.
I think that's why a lot of people, I don't want to say fail at the sex part, but they have challenges with the sex part because they think it comes from the actions, what my physical body is doing. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, that's the act of it, but it's supposed to, that's supposed to be driven from something. That's supposed to
Yeah.
reflect
That's a
something.
crescendo.
Yeah, exactly. That's a reflection of something.
Yeah, that's a culmination. That's the culminating point. The graduation is a culmination of all the work you did over the
Mm-hmm.
course of a particular time. In
Yeah.
case of college, 4 years of hard work. Then you graduate.
Yeah.
You don't
That's
start
not
with the
that's not
graduation
the
and say,
launch
"Okay,
pad.
I graduated. Now let me go do the work."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Graduation's not the launch pad.
exactly. Yeah,
That's
it's
the
not the
landing.
departure point. Exactly, and right, it's the landing point. And you're right. I think that we are again seduced into do all these different kinds of moves, and if I'm doing all these different kinds of moves, I'm a beast.
Mm-hmm.
But you never engaged with your partner on a soul level. You don't know what they like, what they need. Forget even what they like or what they need in the bedroom, what they like and need to feel safe.
To even really receive that energy you're trying to give them. And this is why I was saying before, it's a lot of dudes that are skilled at learning how to be a good lover, but they're still not connecting with the person. They've
With a
just
technique
become,
artist.
yeah, that's,
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, you could be a technique artist all you want, but if your technique is not grounded in the connection or the context that matters, which is that other person's heart, that other person's soul, it ultimately will not penetrate, no pun intended, in the way you think it will. It just won't.
well, that's what I was saying is it's hard to say because some guys are skilled at that and they've heard, oh, this is the best I've ever had. Now you could, like you were saying, that could just be pillow talk.
Could be.
But if that's what they're hearing, they're thinking that they're successful because they become technique experts.
Mm. And
So
I'm
it's
not
like,
saying, look,
which one what do you go with?
here's the thing. Are there margins of error? And I'll stand back on my point and say this. Are there margins of error? Does my philosophy and this approach that I'm advocating cover all instances of physical, intimate connection and time together? Absolutely not. You have people who have interests and desires and moments that change dynamically over the course of their life, over the course of the time, even sometimes in the middle of their physical intimacy, where they require a different level of engagement.
True.
You can go from in the beginning, you started off as a technique expert, but because you were so bad at it, I needed more emotion. You couldn't do that. So boom, I recognize that. What I'm saying is tried and true methods. That's a term that I always use with Jamie. If you're talking about what we're gathering in our anecdotal research, in our conversations, and what we've read and the literature we've been exposed to, even Jamie and I were reading this book called Swoon together. It's about written by a woman about men throughout history who've made women swoon. They've made women fall in love, or they became. And some of these men were not good looking.
Many of them were not.
No, there was one guy in Italy who was like an ugly hunchback looking dude, short,
Yeah.
but he had women falling over in Italy,
Yeah.
falling over,
Giving up their royal and noble status to be with him.
and Perfido Rodriguez. I mean, well, he had a 13-inch member, but he also had swag and cool. They said he also had the ability when a woman was talking to him to make that woman feel like
He
he was
was,
the only woman in the room.
yeah.
Then you add in the 13-inch member, and now,
Like, she's speaking in tongues tonight. Oh, we connected, all right. We connected, all right.
yeah, he married Within the span of 5 years, 2 of the richest women in the world, back to back.
Man,
He married one, divorced her, and then married the other and divorced her.
yeah.
Right in the 50s. A Dominican dude in the 50s married 2 white women back to back.
Back to back.
Stop it. 2 who were the richest women in the world. One of them, even as she was dying in the 90s, because he died tragically when he was 53 in a car crash, still had a picture of him next to her nightstand as she was passing away.
Does that remind
Now-
you of someone?
Who?
Cassie still saying, I love this man. I still love Diddy after all of that. Like,
Well, that has a different storied history to it.
but I just mean, I'm pretty sure that when he married, like, I'm pretty sure he didn't do it right.
Who? Perfida?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, obviously he got married and divorced to both of them.
Mhm.
He was the kind of guy who needed to feel free
I'm
and
sure.
out and engaged. And it wasn't, I don't know if it was even about beating other women. I'm sure on some level because he was naturally charming, but he seemed like he had a Bill Clinton-esque aura, the way that the writer described it. And from what other sources I've read about him, he had it like that. In terms of charisma, listen, there's a lot of, I think, Eartha Kitt, when you look at his list
Running
at the
through 'em.
time, crazy. Now,
Yeah.
again, he had the members, so some people just off the member alone are going to take that. Again, technique. I just want, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for the girth
Yeah. All right, cool.
before I leave the earth. No problem. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to marry this dude. This is just
Right.
what I need in the
We
moment.
know what it is. And yeah, let's do what we do.
But
and be
I
out.
guess the time he spent with the women who really his first wife and his first wife, walked away and then she came back.
She limped away or walked away?
Well, that's what she said. She said for about a week. No, she said for about a week she was messed up.
I can imagine, bro. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So Swoon really talks about these types of men and these types of connections. And ultimately the book is about, if those who want to read the Swoon book, I forgot by the author, I'm looking over at my bookcase to see if I see it right here, ready accessible. I don't, but it's just about these experiences and these men.
Mm-hmm.
And again, what she emphasizes is how these men made women feel. Classic Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
I always tell people
Lauren Rowe is the author.
Lauren Rowe, thank you.
Yeah.
No, she's a PhD of the English or something like that. I just can't remember because we were reading it in 2022.
Famous Maya Angelou quote. Yes.
Yes, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And if that's where you want to be as a man, then fine. If you just, like
If
you
you
said,
just want to say you hit, or if
Yeah.
you just want to know you hit.
yeah, I mean, I think one of the things Perfida would say is that he would stay up all night drinking and playing cards. And then he said around 2 a.m. in the morning, he said this voice he called the little pig voice would start talking. And I guess he would start looking around the room. Who's in here I can just...
Damn. Who can I slay tonight?
Yeah. I mean, he had it like that, though. He had the looks. He had the, he came from a well-off aristocratic family in Dominican Republic. He had it
Mhm.
like that. So I'm saying all that to say that is one avenue. But for the majority, if you want to think about it, you got to think about connection.
Yeah, and service.
Yeah.
They got to go hand in hand.
Yeah. Because that's ultimately the true expression. And that's the culmination of the work. Like we said, the graduation comes after the work. You got to put that first. If you really want to have these intense connections.
Physically, you talking about?
Yeah. And also emotionally and with people, with women. And likewise, you said women should be doing it with men. If you want to be in a space where a man is considering you and thinking about you and actually taking you seriously, you would do the same. I just think, as I have said numerous times off of this podcast, due to the state of technology that has habituated us to think in terms of customization and personalization, we take that same calculus that we are being raised and programmed on and apply it to a human being. But a human being is not an item or
Yeah.
a product to be customized.
Right.
So it's very hard for us to deal with the issues and the bugs that come with partnering with somebody because we're
Mhm.
no longer dealing with the difficulties that come with low-tech environments.
Yeah.
Having to pick up a log and drag it from where you cut it down in the forest and drag it now to the cabin, or you slayed an animal, now you got to clean the animal. There's work that has to be done because now that that animal carcass needs to be taken somewhere to be cleaned and eaten. All of these items and ways in which we've dealt with the world that were very low tech are no longer a part of our daily life. They say that men have I forgot, a significantly reduced amount of strength in their bodies compared to men 50, 60 years ago. Is that because of the chemicals in the food? Probably. You could argue that. But they're arguing that just that men are more sedentary. Think
Mm-hmm.
about it. There are people who started working in their family farms at 4 years old.
Yeah. Moving around, not
Yeah,
just sitting around all day playing
yeah,
video games or
yeah,
whatever. Like, yeah, no,
exactly.
they were moving. They were
So
active.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've lost that. And
Mm-hmm.
with that, we've gained convenience. And I keep saying it, the seven deadly sins, they need to add an eighth one, convenience. Convenience
Yeah.
is the eighth deadly sin
Yeah. It will
because it
steal your life
convinces you, yeah, it convinces you, number one, that everything should happen for you because of you.
easily.
That's convenience. Everything should happen for you because of you. It centers you, and because it's convenient for you, you only matter. So naturally, because something's convenient for me, I'm not thinking about the impact it's having on someone else. If the food's getting delivered, I'm not thinking about the low pay or the low wage or the no pay the delivery person has. I'm not thinking about the supply chain pipeline of the food, food sourcing. I know if I factored in the kind of food I like and how it tastes, and I know it's healthy for me, meaning I can eat it and I won't get sick, that's what matters to me. And it's convenient for me
Mm-hmm.
because convenience is about you. And then we take that same calculus and apply it to a relationship, apply it to the bedroom, apply it to physical intimacy experiences, and wonder why they don't work out.
Yeah.
Both people are making it about themselves. And then they're interacting, wondering why it's not working.
Yeah. Y'all are moving in two different directions together.
Mhm. You're in a rowboat, one person's rowing one way, other person's rowing
Yeah.
another.
And you're going in
Stuck
circles.
yeah, in the middle of the lake.
Yeah.
Both trying to get to shore because who wants to stay in a rowboat in the middle of the lake all day? It was nice to come out here. Now it's time to go back. And you can't. Arguing, carrying on. You do it this way, I do it that way. Getting violent, getting crazy.
That's the life cycle of a lot of relationships.
Absolutely. Because it's ultimately about you and your convenience. This is no longer convenient for me.
Your
And
agenda.
relationships are nothing but convenient. They have convenience as a part of it, but they are not about convenience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, that was good. I feel like that's a really good place to end.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to. We're over time. Guys, another episode. Save the date. Check us out at Save the Date Now, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Until the next episode, I'm Heath.
Jamie, y'all. Peace.
Take care.